Welcome to Brittany Middle East. We are here for an awareness seminar for company formation in UAE. Broadly, we are going to discuss how to form company in UAE, particularly in this region. We receive a lot of inquiries and phone calls. People are more confused about the development, and sometimes we feel that they are not well aware about the opportunities that are available in terms of the formation and in their business growth. So we are going to discuss broadly these things. First of all, we will discuss the scope of company formation in UAE. We will discuss what are the opportunities available for the investors to be in UAE as the operational company, or if even they are outside UAE and they want to open a company as an offshore company, what are the options with them. Then we will discuss the ownership structures. Few people want always a local partner to grow their business. This is one option. Then some investors, they want to keep the ownership 100% with them. These options are also catered as a free zone companies. Then we will discuss how to form a local sponsored company. What is a local sponsored company? What is a local partner? Then we will discuss about free zones. What are the free zone concepts? How many free zones are in UAE? And what benefits they offer to the investors to form companies. Then we will see the registration procedure in general, what are the steps, how much time it takes. Then what are the fee patterns and different costings, evaluations we will discuss. Along with that, we are going to discuss the labor laws, visas, these kind of things. And for the companies, what are the financial arrangements available? How can they take loans, and how can they run how can they have the working capital for running their companies, and what recommendations Brittany has for the new investors. This is the scope of our awareness program. We will start our discussion with the scope of company formation in UAE. Surely UAE is the best place for the investment. It is a land of opportunities with high, because this region is more attractive in terms of security, in terms of the investment growth, in terms of customers are very quality conscious here. So if you are a quality supplier, you surely have a big room to develop, and you have big space here. Now, market confidence is the very important thing that is vital for the new investor to enter in some market. And we can see the market confidence is very high, and more or the less, this area is the most important areas as in the investorize nowadays. Growth potential is very good. If you are based in UAE, you can grow your operations to Africa, to the other countries of the Middle East. And then UAE is considered as a trade hub, and the ports, the Jebel Ali ports and other ports are very popular, very most efficient and effective in the business operations. Profitability here is very high in terms of NP, gross profit, and GP, and it's considered to be an international platform. Traveling from here is a daily phenomenon. And people are more accustomed to travel from one place to another place. Then the beauty of the economy is it has no taxation. So in terms of recording, in terms of accounting, in terms of business operations, there is no hassle in terms of taxation, which is surely a disadvantage in Europe and US. And secured environment is the most prime important concept, which tells an emphasis and gives a thought to enter in the UAE market with your ideas and with your expertise. Now, before you want to form a company, the biggest question that you have to ask from you is what kind of ownership structure you want. Do you want a mainland company with a local sponsor? Do you want to share your ownership? For example, 51% share with the local partner, 49% share with you. Do you feel comfortable with this model? Or some investor, they are more keen to have 100% ownership of their companies. So is it your model to share, or you want 100% ownership? This is the first thing you have to decide. The second thing you have to decide is, do you want to operate in UAE? So the option is onshore company. But if you just want a company to have certain benefits and you don't want to operate inside UAE, then you should go for an offshore company. What are onshore companies? What are the offshore companies? This is we are going to discuss shortly. Now, there are certain types of organizations which is generally in our local structure. There is general partnership company, joint venture company, then public shareholding companies are there, private shareholding companies, LLCs, share partnership companies, and if you are a professional firm like engineering or a doctor or a chartered accountant, then there are specialized firms for you. Now let's discuss the offshore company. Offshore company is when you are not operating effectively or you are not operating at all in UAE, but you have a company and you want to protect your assets, you are good in your tax plannings and property holdings, trust and mutual funds. For any purposes, you need a company and a bank account to route your money. What are the features for the offshore companies available in UAE? There is a minimum number of shareholder and director is only one. So if you are a one man and you want to register a company offshore, surely you can do it. There is no requirement to deposit the capital in bank. So no worries in terms of putting capital to show that you have money. Without that, you can also register a company. 100% foreign ownership permitted, 100% tax-free, duty-free opening corporate bank account in a bank in UAE. Investors should not visit the authority to incorporate the company. If you are in US, you are in Europe, no worries, you can still incorporate your company. Then audited financial will only be requested if there is something suspicious, otherwise there is no need. What are the limitations? The company cannot rent local offices because the theme of the company is you cannot operate in UAE, so you can't take office, you cannot use the operations in UAE. Now we have to discuss the onshore company, which is the major focus of our discussion today. Is we can form a local sponsored company, that is an LLC, may be formed by a minimum of 2 and maximum you need 50 members for that. So pretty flexible options ranges there. 51 participation will be with a local sponsor and your foreign shareholding will be 49% with you. The minimum capital to start should be around 300,000, varies sometimes, not an absolute value. If you want a confirmed value, this is, you can check with the official websites. While foreign share in the company cannot exceed 45%, and profit and loss distribution can be agreed mutually. Then we can discuss as the free zones. What are the free zones? 100% free ownership, no taxation, corporate, personal tax exemptions, exemption of import and export taxes. Companies in the free zones can work anytime they want. Now, these are the famous free zones in UAE. We have Dubai Airport Free Zone, Dubai Internet City, Media City, Healthcare City, DIFC. Then we have Hamria Free Zone in Sharjah. Then we have Dubai Maritime City, Dubai Silicon Oasis, very famous Jebel Ali Free Zone, Jebza, and Sharjah Airport International, Iraq Media City, Creative City Free Zone in Fujairah. Dubai Multi-Commodity Centers, then we have Gold and Diamond Park, Knowledge Village, Fujairah Free Trade Zone, and we have Ajman Free Zones, and a lot of upcoming free zones are also coming in UAE, which you can keep an eye on the information about the free zones. So now we are going to discuss each free zone in detail one by one.